Hello, and in this walking rant, the subject of the day is time travel. Now, I've I've been fascinated with time travel since I was a kid, maybe since the movie Back to the Future came out. And there's a lot of aspects to it that I want to look at with you guys today. This first talk about just the concept of it. Do you think it's possible? Um, and that question, I'm not sure. I feel like there there may be a way. You know, we haven't figured it out. Obviously, I hope we haven't. But there's so much of this world that we have not explored. There's so much science still left to be discovered. Um, there's so much of our brain that is untapped. So maybe if we can untap that, come on, buds. Maybe if we untap it, we might be able to figure out a complex, complicated um, issue like that. You know, I don't think it's an impossibility. I really don't. I think that time travel is something that is one of those things that we haven't figured out yet. Um, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's something that we need to obviously find new energy sources to make it happen, or be able to look at time as it exists today a little differently, and not fall to the constructs of what it is in our world today. But if and when we do, it's going to pose a couple more, like way more interesting questions related to, if you could do it, do you? And if you decide that you should, on what? What would you do? Just an idea, a real idea I want to throw around today. Come on, buds, go outside. It's just an idea I want to throw around today. If you could travel through time, what three things would you do? Would you use it for selfish gain? Would you use it to go back in time and put money on last year's Super Bowl winner? No. I don't know. Would you use it to change a historical wrong? Would you protect people? Would you use it good, for evil? How many people would do that? Who should have access to it? Would you need a different type of oversight? And if it existed, would time stop to exist because it can continuously be changed? I don't know. But I would definitely use it to change something. I would love to see what it would have been like if, say, Martin Luther King had lived. Oh, would you go back in time and bring somebody to the present to help solve current modern day problems? Would that be a use? Would you go to the future or the past? I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you go forward or backwards? Forward or backwards? Would you go backwards and change things? Would you go backwards and affect outcomes of long tested situations that have affected the course of the world? Would you just go back to observe? Would you want to see how things started and why things are the way they are now? I mean, I definitely would want to see that. Definitely. In my particular case, as a man of African descent who doesn't know all of his ancestors and where they come from, that's something that would be beneficial to me. I'd like to see what happened. I mean, obviously, slavery didn't last forever. And obviously, all black people were not slaves at one point. So, I mean, that would be something I would want to find out. But what do you guys think? What's the number one thing you would use a time machine for? Or would you just simply use it to go back and see somebody who's no longer with us? I mean, I know that a lot of people want to do that. There's a part of me that I want to do that as well. There's definitely people in my life that unfortunately have transcended, have moved on. And in this time walking this earth, I won't see them again. It'd be nice to go back and get to ask them a couple questions. You know, that'd be really, really, really nice. Or would you just like to go way into the future, like way into the future, and see where technology has taken us? You know, I feel like that these are all questions and possibilities of a future time. It's not a time that we live in now, obviously. It's not a time that we live in now. But at some point in the future, it may be possible. Or do you think it would just be like for monetary purposes, and a small select few are going to pay for it and then capitalize off it? I mean, that's also possible. That's kind of the way technology happens now, right? Come on, buds. People pay to have scientific experiments done, and those experiments tend to only influence and benefit a small select. I mean, that's the gift of capitalism, right? But maybe in the future, something happens where we're looking for society gains and not personal financial gains. I don't know. Just a thought. But time travel. Would you use it so that you can possibly translate that to space travel? Like, if you can control time, you could probably control space. From the standpoint of being able to go longer distances in one lifetime. You know, I feel like time travel and that are related closely. But I don't know. I mean, right now, we're still dealing with, for whatever reason, people considering whether or not the earth is flat, which is something I thought was like laid to rest hundreds of years ago. But it's resurfaced. So maybe we just end up going backward. Maybe we digress to some lesser forms of ourselves. Maybe time travel leads to the demise of everything. I don't know. Could be either. I think that I might actually use it. I think that I would like to try it at least once. Go somewhere. Go to an historical event and see what actually happened for myself. It'd be kind of cool. Definitely be kind of cool. You know it'd be kind of cool. What do you think? What do you do? What do you do? What would you do? Would you be like me and be adventurous? Would you stay back? Would you look at it like morally it's impossible or wrong? Or would you embrace it and utilize it for either personal or society gain, civilization type gains? Would you just like try to police it and try to make it illegal to ever do? I don't know. Just some thoughts. Let's see what Magic thinks. What do y'all think Magic's gonna do? Magic, did you time travel, buddy? No? You leave it alone? He definitely gave us a no, bro. Actually, technically, that was a yes. Man, yeah, I don't know. Don't know what I would do. Um, but just the thought does make things interesting. The thought alone of it being possible, it's kind of a fun thing to play with. What is the one thing that you would do if you could literally go back in time, go back or forward in time? That's an interesting question. I don't know. Would you go backwards or forwards? Or would you act like it didn't exist? That's the question of the day of this walking rant. Um, why don't you leave your answers in the comment? Click that like button. And let me know what you're feeling. All right. Till next time, I'll talk to y'all later.